Could we still see the Washington Commanders completely reshape their running back room heading into the 2025 season? There's some recent rumors that suggest that they might be looking to move off of B-Rob and potentially go after a star level running back via trade. We'll reveal who that star level back is here in just a second. Also, the Commanders make a splash hire to their offensive coaching staff that could be a potential Kliff Kingsbury replacement in years to come. And they'll finish up today's show by talking about a former Washington Commander legend whose brother is now entering the NFL draft this year and could be a priority UDFA for the Burgundy and Gold. Welcome into the Commanders Report. I am your host, Jack Sperry. Before we get into today's content, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you are feeling generous, because taking that half second to click that thumbs up icon, guys, and liking today's video is the easiest way to help out our channel. It tells the YouTube algorithm that you enjoy our content and that they should push it out to other Commanders fans like yourself. So if you want to click that thumbs up icon, you want to help out my channel, help out our channel here today, really do appreciate all of your support. So let's start here with a very interesting rumor here where FanDuel has suggested a potential trade between the Washington Commanders and the New York Jets that would send star running back Breece Hall to the nation's capital. This comes after a report from Rich Cimini, who is the ESPN New York Jets reporter, who said this over the last couple of days. Hall is among a handful of players up for a contract extension, most notably cornerback Sauce Gardner and wide receiver Garrett Wilson, both drafted the same year as Hall. It will be difficult to keep them all long term. Then he continues to say here, Hall is a gifted player who would attract interest if dangled in trade talks. Perhaps the Jets would consider moving him if Boise State star Ashton Jeanty is available with the 7th pick in the April 24th draft. Then, after that report came out, Breece Hall took to Twitter himself and posted this picture of this very disgruntled monkey smoking a cigarette, probably indicating that he doesn't like these rumors all that much, and he doesn't like that his name is being brought up in these trade rumors. But then after that, FanDuel put out this trade proposal on their kind of social media, where the Commanders would get Breece Hall and they would send a 6th rounder this year, a 3rd rounder in 2026, so next year's NFL draft, and then send Luke McCaffrey, last year's 3rd round pick at wide receiver, to the New York Jets in the deal. So pretty much all you give up is Luke McCaffrey, who, is still an up-and-coming player, and a 6th round pick this year, and then you give up your 3rd round pick next year. And personally, guys, I know a lot of people like Luke McCaffrey and they want to see what he can become. But personally, I would kind of be down for this if this trade is available and Breece Hall is truly on the market. And I think that Hall is one of the more complete backs in the National Football League. Still hasn't rushed for 1,000 yards in his career yet, but he's dealt with some injuries. He dealt with some poor offensive line play last year and some injuries along the offensive line in New York. It was a complete dumpster fire, that offense in New York last year. But he's got great vision, great foot quickness, really good long speed. He's really good out of the backfield as well, which is certainly something that which would really attract Kliff Kingsbury and the Washington Commanders, because of how much they like to pass the football, with, of course, Jaden Daniels throwing him the ball. But, of course, if you go and get Breece Hall, that means that you probably are unloading Brian Robinson Jr., and there's been a lot of speculation among people in Commanders media that Washington could be looking to unload Brian Robinson Jr. and get an upgrade at the number 1 running back position. And let me tell you guys, if they go and get Breece Hall, they probably trade B-Rob away. All right, because, it's getting kind of crowded in that room at that point. You got Breece Hall, you got B-Rob, you got Austin Eckler, you got Chris Rodriguez Jr., you got a good collection of players in there, but I think that the Washington Commanders would probably want to try to get one of their picks back in this year's NFL draft if they end up getting Breece Hall in a trade. And a potential landing spot here is actually the Cleveland Browns, who are looking for a new number 1 running back after Nick Chubb left them in NFL free agency this year. By the way, he's still available on the open market. But this is what Tony Adam of Heavy.com, who covers the Cleveland Browns, had to say about this potential fit. If anyone is primed to take a flyer on a semi-reliable running back right now via trade, it would be the Browns. With that in mind, the Washington Commanders should reach out to gauge their interest in acquiring running back Brian Robinson Jr. The Commanders are also desperate to fill their draft coffers. They have been dealing away picks since the middle of the 2024 season in exchange for proven veterans, and currently only have 5 picks in the 2025 NFL draft. And in my opinion, and then the trade proposal that they actually bring up in this article is a 6th-round pick. So 179th overall would be on its way to the Washington Commanders in exchange for Brian Robinson Jr. And if the Commanders can pull off both of these trades, or they get Breece Hall and all they have to give up is a 6th-round pick this year in order to get him, and then you can recoup that 6th-round pick by getting rid of Brian Robinson Jr. Essentially, what you're trading is Luke McCaffrey and then a 3rd-round pick in next year's draft, not even this year's draft, to get a star-level running back that could really be featured in this offense, of course, led by Kliff Kingsbury and Jaden Daniels. But my guess is Washington is just going to keep B-Rob, all right? And the reason why I don't think they're going to make an investment in the star-level running back guys is because you have your superstar on the offense, and that is Jaden Daniels, your quarterback, all right? So I don't think Washington's necessarily a team that's going to spend high-level draft assets or trade assets to go out and get a star-level running back, because they don't need a star-level running back to have one of the top offenses in the National Football League. When you have an offensive weapon like Jaden Daniels, that is the superstar of your team. That's what your offense revolves around. That doesn't mean necessarily that they're going to be content with bad running back play, but B-Rob isn't a bad running back. He is a very solid #1 running back. We saw what Austin Eckler could do for this team last year. It wouldn't surprise me if Washington spent a late-round draft pick on a running back either, especially with Eckler getting older and getting closer to retirement. But honestly, I don't think the Commanders are necessarily need to be desperate to go out and get a star-level running back like a Breece Hall. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Would you accept this trade if you were the Washington Commanders? Give me an A for accept or D for decline. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. In just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at Turtle Beach Headsets. And while I'm talking about Turtle Beach today, go down there, find that pinned comment, and let me know if you would accept or decline this trade offer from the New York Jets. Now let's have a word from our sponsor today at Turtle Beach Headsets. And remember the feeling of booting up your favorite game for the first time? The late night sessions, the epic wins, the sound of the lobby filling up with friends. Gaming wasn't just something you did, it was a whole experience. And the right headset made all the difference. Turtle Beach is bringing back that feeling with the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. It's like stepping into the golden age of gaming all over again. Only this time, the audio is richer, the surround sound is more immersive, and the battery lasts an insane 80 hours. No more crackling mics, no more missed callouts, just pure, uninterrupted gaming. Exactly the way you remember it, but better. For a limited time only, get 10% off your entire order with code CHAT at turtlebeach.com. Don't miss out. Stay warm and level up your game with 10% off at turtlebeach.com using code CHAT. And guys, what I use my Turtle Beach headset for, my Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset for at home, is I like to do a bunch of football gaming. I'm an absolute football gaming nerd, okay? And we have a bunch of different online leagues here at Chat Sports. We have one for College Football 25. We have one for Madden as well. And I absolutely dominate with my Washington Commanders franchise right here at Chat Sports, kicking everybody's butt. And, of course, getting some victories for the Burgundy and Gold. So head on over to turtlebeach.com and use code CHAT for 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off your order at turtlebeach.com with promo code CHAT. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you here at the Commanders Report by Chat Sports. Get the ultimate immersive gaming experience with Turtle Beach today. And a big shout out and thank you to Turtle Beach Headsets for sponsoring today's edition of the Commanders Report. So today, the Washington Commanders announced that they have hired former All-Pro wide receiver Wes Welker, Patriots legend, Broncos legend. You guys will probably definitely remember him if you watched football in the 2010 era. And Welker is somebody that is, kind of gone around the league. He worked for the Texans, and he worked for the 49ers, and then he worked with the Dolphins most recently as their wide receiver coach. And now he is coming in here to Washington to be a personal analyst to offensive coordinator Kliff Kingsbury, and then also to the front office. So he's going to be helping identify talent, and he's also going to kind of work alongside Kliff Kingsbury to be kind of a personal analyst for him. He knows Kliff personally. They used to be roommates actually back in college. So Wes Welker and Kliff Kingsbury, very, very tight. And what this might be right now, guys, is, Kliff Kingsbury might be picking his heir apparent to be the new offensive coordinator of the Washington Commanders whenever he decides to take a head coaching job somewhere else. Kliff got a bunch of head coaching interest this offseason, decided to stick around here in Washington. The jobs just weren't all that interesting to him and all that enticing to him. But I definitely think that in future seasons, he's going to be considered one of the top head coaching candidates. He's known as a player-friendly coach. He's known now here in Washington as an innovative offensive mind, and he's had that reputation going back to Texas Tech and the Arizona Cardinals as well. So this is certainly something here where Kliff, I think, eventually is going to take a head coaching job, whether we as Commanders fans want that or not. We obviously want him here as long as he possibly can. But Wes Welker seems to be somebody that he is now probably putting in position to personally groom as the next potential offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders whenever he does eventually move on from this football team. But there are still some other great candidates out there. You still got Anthony Lynn on the coaching staff. You still got Tavita Pritchard, who is your quarterbacks coach. You got David Blau, who's a very up and coming kind of quarterbacks coach type of guy. There, you got a lot of great offensive play calling potential on this coaching staff. So let me know down there in the comment section, who is the heir apparent to Kliff Kingsbury as the next offensive coordinator of the Washington Commanders? Give me an AL for Anthony Lynn, TP for Tavita Pritchard, DB for David Blau. If you think it's for the newly hired Wes Welker, type those W's down there in the comment section. Now, did you guys know that Redskins legend Sean Taylor's brother is in this NFL draft class? I just found this out over the weekend, and it absolutely blew my mind because obviously Sean Taylor's been out of the league for quite a long time now. It's kind of weird that he's got a younger brother that is in this draft class here, almost 20 years younger than Taylor was. And let me introduce you guys to Gabe Taylor, the safety out of Rice. Now, Gabe is somebody that brings incredible speed to the table. 4.39 40-yard dash time is what was reported at the Rice Pro Day for him this year, and he played strong safety in college. And right now, the Washington Commanders are looking for a potential strong safety. Now, as you guys can tell by the picture there, he is somebody that is very, very slender. All right, he's like 188 pounds, and that's just not going to cut it at the next level when it comes to being a strong safety. All right, so I think in the league, he's going to have to make a transition to play more free safety in the NFL. He's got the speed to be able to do that. 4.39 speed is no joke. And if he can play at that kind of speed, even if he is 188 pounds and is only 5'8", those aren't great measurables right there. But the speed that he brings to the table is certainly something that's going to catch the eye of scouts around the country. And, how cool would it be if he was brought in as a UDFA, man? Sean Taylor, Redskins legend, bringing his brother in to play for the same team in the same organization that his brother played for would be so, so cool for the Washington Commanders here heading into the 2025 training camp. And I would love to see him play, even if it's just preseason games where he eventually gets cut, because let's face it, at this point, Gabe Taylor's probably not getting drafted. He's not on the PFF big board in the top, I think it's like 500 prospects. And then he's not on the consensus big board, which is like a top 700 list right now. So he's probably not going to get drafted. But I think it would be really, really cool if they brought in this undersized but really speedy a free safety prospect out of Rice in here, especially because of the connections with his family to this organization. So if you guys want to send a little message here to Sean up into the heavens here, you guys can type those 2 1s down there in the comment section to show some love to Sean Taylor and his family today. Obviously, he's a legend in this fan base and in this organization, and we miss him dearly. So make sure you guys type those 2 1s if you haven't already in the comment section to show some love. And that'll be it for today's edition of the Commanders Report by Chat Sports. Thank you so much for making it to the end of today's program. We will catch you guys tomorrow with another Commanders Report video. So make sure you click that subscribe button, turn on those notifications so you know when that video comes out. Until then, guys, go raise some hail.